this video, as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about the best key levels that you can watch order flow at. This video is hands down going to be one of my most valuable videos. And to be completely honest with you guys, you are probably paying someone else or looking to pay somebody else for this information that I'm about to give you guys. So if you trade order flow or you're thinking about using order flow and you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you subscribe. I post tons of valuable content right here on this account. Also, you guys should go check out my TikTok and my Instagram where I post strictly order flow trading related content. But anyway, let's just talk about the most important places to watch the order flow at and how to find these levels. All right, so one thing that you guys should keep in mind is that the key levels are going to be a little bit different depending on what asset you're trading. Some key levels on ES are going to be less important on gold, for example, and vice versa. But first, I'm going to go over the ES and NQ levels you should probably keep an eye on. And after that, I'm going to talk about gold and I'll kind of explain the differences and what I mean by some are more important than others. So what you guys see on your screen right here is my custom indicator that I built for TradingView. This just marks out the open, high, lows, and closes for current day, the previous day, the current week, and the previous week. These levels are very important. It doesn't mean they're important every single time they're touched. Sometimes they may be more important and respected than others, but these levels are easily my favorite personally to play off of. My absolute favorite trade setup for ES specifically is a previous high day or low day fake out or a overnight high low fake out. Could be a weekly high or low if it's untouched, but yeah, the first group of levels that I would recommend everyone watch for ES and NQ is the daily open, high, low, and closes, as well as the overnight high and low. And then occasionally the weekly high and lows, previous week high and lows matter as well. So like I said, these are probably my favorite levels for ES specifically. And like I said, sometimes they are more relevant than others. So like obviously if there's a previous day's high that's already been touched like 3 times, it's going to be way less important. It's not going to be as significant. When these highs and lows specifically are most significant is when they are untouched. You want to be watching the order flow at the first touch of the level since it formed. So like for example, say we're going to test the previous day's high for the first time. That's whenever you want to be paying attention for that absorption reversal setup. And yeah, that's pretty much when the level is most relevant. Closes can be relevant as well. I would say once again, the first touch, you usually want to see the close hold or reject, potentially break and retest. All these levels, you're kind of playing them the same way. Like for highs and lows, I'm looking for the reversal. If we don't get a reversal, I could potentially see a break and retest, and that's going to be the case for each one of these levels. All right, so moving on from the open, high, lows, and closes. So the next batch of key levels for ES and NQ are going to be the volume profile levels. Now, since the most volume is traded during the RTH session, if you guys don't know what that is regular trading hours. That is the 9:30 open to the 4 p.m. close on Eastern time. RTH session is going to be more relevant than the ETH profile, and that's basically just the overnight profile. I personally look at both. If there's a lot of volume traded overnight, I'll put more emphasis on the ETH VWAP or the ETH profile in general. But normally, if there's a clear level on the overnight profile, I'll be using that as a key level of interest in the RTH session. So personally, I am mainly looking at low volume areas, and that's pretty much it. Some people like to use the value area high, the value area low. On ES, I really don't do that as much. That's just me personally. But the volume profile levels, they're just levels of interest, just like every other level. You can use them the same way as the most part. Places for reversals or places for break and retest for continuation. But like I said, for me personally, I am mainly using the low volume areas specifically for ES. So like if I just mark this one out, for example, this low volume area was created right here. You can see we break below it, we kind of reject it, we break above it, kind of hold a support again. And basically I'm using these levels the same way. Like I just said, I'm using any clear area of low volume. First, I'm going to look for a reversal there. And if we do not reverse there, I'm going to look for a break and retest of that area. So if I'm playing a reversal, I wait for that level to be tested. And then I go over to the order flow. And then I'm looking for, all right, is there absorption here? Are there orders with exhaustion into the orders? Whatever the case may be, whatever entry confirmation I can get from the order flow, specifically at these key levels. So it's really all very similar. You're just treating these key levels as places of interest first. There's no guarantee the price is going to reject them. No guarantee that they're going to break and retest. They are simply areas of interest where you can then go to the order flow and actually see if there's a trade thesis that you can develop. So just because we're trading at an area of low volume, all of a sudden, don't be expecting rejection 100%. It's not like that. By the way, I am giving you guys these levels in order of the emphasis that I place on them. So if I could give you guys a list, my top levels of interest first are going to be the previous days high and low, overnight high and low. After that, it's going to be the profile levels, specifically LVNs for me. After that, it's going to be the RTH VWAP for ES and NQ. People honestly sleep on VWAP. VWAP is used as basically like the fair value for a lot of these funds. So while you should not be expecting VWAP to reject automatically or be reclaimed automatically, is actually a place of interest, and a lot of algorithms and funds actually use VWAP. So recently I've been using VWAP a little bit more, specifically the RTH VWAP, unless the overnight volume is really strong, and then I will consider using the ETH VWAP as well. But yeah, just another level of interest that you can watch for a rejection and a break and retest or a reclaim. Obviously for all these levels, we are first waiting for price to trade at them, and then we are looking at the order flow and we are trying to analyze what is happening, what is the interaction between buyers and sellers, aggressive and passive participants at these levels of interest. And finally, before we talk about GC, the last key levels of interest that I use are the RTH profile levels for the current session. So I'm going to show you guys an example real quick of a level of interest that formed intraday today on December 16th that I used, and I actually took a trade off of today. I'm going to speed ahead, and first we are going to look for this level to reject, which it currently literally just did. I did not take it short off of that, but then what we're going to see is this level gets reclaimed. So now that it's reclaimed, I already had this level marked out, but now that it's been reclaimed, what I want to do is I want to use this as a support level. So I want to see if buyers are going to be defending these prices right here for longs, basically. Once again, this is just another area of low volume, and you'll see in a few seconds here, this level is going to reject perfectly after we reclaimed it and we retested this area. Bids started coming in, supporting price, and although we did not get a high a day out of it, we still got a nice reversal. This could have been a 15-point trade right here. But anyway, the point is that I use low volume areas from the current sessions profile as well. Also, if you guys don't have Bookmap and you want a discount, check out the link in my description for 20% off. So that pretty much covers ES. Now I'm going to talk about GC real quick. GC is a little bit different, only in the sense that the price for GC is more derived from the actual supply and demand for the underlying asset, which would be gold. So what I found personally is that gold will respect volume profile levels a lot more than ES does. If you guys don't know this, ES prices are heavily influenced by options flow. So that pretty much is what's driving the prices up or down on ES for the most part. That's not to say that the volume profile doesn't work or certain things don't work as well with it. It's just that it's just a little bit different because the price of GC, for example, is heavily influenced by supply and demand. Like pretty much only supply and demand. So you guys can see I have a very similar indicator on GC here. And if you guys want those indicators, they're in my Discord. But for gold, I am looking at the ETH profile, and I'm also looking at the ETH highs and lows. So these previous day close. So these PDH, PDLs, PDCs, this is from the previous ETH session. This profile is from the current ETH session. My main levels of interest on GC are these areas of lower volume. If there's a balanced profile, I will definitely look at the previous sessions, value area high, value area low. The ETH VWAP is important, but honestly, the only difference I would say is that I put a lot more emphasis on these areas of low volume in GC, or just volume profile levels in general. So like I said before, just because there's a key level doesn't mean price is going to reject, doesn't mean anything's going to happen. We are just using these key levels for reading the order flow at these key levels, and we are seeing if a trade setup actually presents itself. Simple as that. So yeah, those are the most important key levels to watch the order flow at for both ES and GC. If you guys stuck to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video valuable, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.